Starting off with 3 Fallen in the Virtuous structure deck and a budget of $50 a week, I must build a competitive Yugioh deck by only using sealed product. No buying, no trading for cards. This is all leading up to doing Yu-Gi-Oh's biggest challenge, topping a YCS. This is the Fallen in the Virtuous, sealed only Yu-Gi-Oh!
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you have read the title correctly. Today, we're going to be competing in a YCS. Today, we're going to be competing in the North American Remote Duel YCS. Now, I know the Remote Duel YCS isn't taken as seriously as compared to an in-person YCS, but it's still going to be very much a challenge, especially with our sealed-only deck, especially since it's only the 4th episode of the sealed-only deck. But in the past 3 episodes, I kind of felt confident with the deck that I just want to put it to the test straight away, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So what are we going to be opening up to help further our strategy to help us compete in this YCS? Well, we're going to be opening up the cheat codes. We're going to be opening up the legendary 5D decks that have recently released. If you don't know what this is, it's basically like 3 decks within one, but the very important part about this is it has a lot of non-engine we can take advantage of. That's kind of the lackluster thing about our deck right now, is we don't have that many non-engine to go around. We have plenty of engine, but non-engine, we don't have that much stuff to go around. The legendary 5D decks should help us out with that. Now, I won't talk about any of the cards because we'll see them all in the opening real quick, so I won't spoil anything. But yeah, we're competing in the YCS. I want to make sure we have all the going second staples in our rotation just to make sure we can try to at least make day 2 at this YCS. But without further ado though, let's get into the opening. Alrighty, now on to the opening itself here. Again, there's not really that much to talk about because everything is predetermined, so it's not like there's going to be like any excitement, but it will help our deck a lot. And I don't know if I said this in the intro or not, so I might be repeating myself. But again, we're only going to be restricted to 2 of them because I think one, we went a little bit over our budget. It's $31 per box, and we got 2 of them, so it was $62. But I'm just going to count last week's budget into this week's last week's prizing into this week's budget. So I went $10 over. We're just going to count last week's prizings as the little bit over that we went. But I'm only going to get 2 of these. That's it. We're not going to open up any others. You know, that is going to be somewhat important once we get into what the cards we can pull. But yeah, I'm going to restrict myself to only getting 2 of these, even though this is very insane for like getting like staple cards. Only going to restrict myself from buying 2. So these are the only 2 we're going to get in the series. So yeah, without further ado though, let's actually get into the opening, shall we? So let me try to open this box here. Maybe, okay, actually opened up a lot faster than I thought it was. Okay, everything dropped out. Okay, we do got a promo cards though. We have like Stardust and stuff like that in here. I don't know if I'm going to open this up. I don't think there's necessarily anything in here that we necessarily need, so I think they're all just like chibi arts and stuff that we don't need, but so I'll keep that sealed up. But for the decks themselves, we do have 3 of them here, but again, we're not really looking for the deck stuff. We're looking for the staples that are inside it. So let me try to struggle my way to opening these things, as I always do struggle to open them up. I'm trying to find where the fuck. Sorry, there we go. We finally got the opening there. Sorry, it's a little dark in my room as well. I don't know why, but we're having very cloudy skies today in Albuquerque. But fuck it, this will still work. So I have a light on. Hopefully that's doing some work, but it's going to be a little bit dark. So again, this stuff we don't necessarily need. This is all like the synchro stuff, the Synchron like new support stuff that it's cool, but we don't necessarily need. So we're kind of just going to skip past it a little bit and then get to the commons where the actual cards that we need are in. So again, more of just the Synchron stuff that we're never going to need. Stardust Synchron though, cool little card. It got 3 of it. Holy shit. Revolution Synchron being a common looks weird as fuck too. Assault Synchron also very weird to look at its common. I think it's its second putting as a common as well. And then 3 Chunk Converter. Actually not bad for like structure deck reasons because it gives you like 3 of stuff, which is very, very cool. Wish other structure decks did that. You know, that'd be cool as hell, but that's fine. First hand trap, though, is Effect Veiler. That's a little cool of a hand trap, but we don't necessarily need. But again, a lot of staples are in here. That's why we're opening up this stuff, so we will take it just in case we need it. But we do get 2 of it. Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, very, very, very important card for us because it helps stops Fua. That's it. That's all we really need it for. We can even just side it and not even main deck if we want to. We just need this card in our rotation so we can stop something like Fuas in game 2s and game 3s. Really, really important. And I think we're pretty much guaranteed 3 of this because I think it's 1 in each of the decks each of the decks, and there's 3 decks total in here. So very, very cool that we got the Ash as well. And then the one Molcharmi Pirellia, this is going to be a side deck thing. Again, weird that it's a common, not going to lie with you. It looks very weird, but Pirellia, very, very important Charmy cards. We're going to get all the Charmy cards out of this. We're going to get 2 of them each, and that's the reason why I'm restricting the boxes to 2, is because I don't want to have like a full-on playset of the Charmy straight away, but just have 2 and then, deal with just having 2. But this is the only Charmy out of this box, but since we bought 2 boxes, we're going to have a second Pirellia, and I think that's really necessarily it for us. I think everything else is kind of just like cards for the actual structure deck. Called by the Grave is like cool, but again, nothing we necessarily need for us because we already have a Called by for us. Same thing with Crossout. We already have a Crossout, so nothing we can really do. Droplet, though, this will be our second, and I think since we have 2 structure decks, third copy of Forbidden Droplet. Really important. Again, looks so weird as a fucking common. I'm not used to these cards being common, but so we will gladly take our playset of Droplet. We already have 1. We're going to get 2 more. We're going to have our guaranteed playset of Droplet. Synchro Zone, a little Floodgate that we don't need, and then Infinite Impermanence, another hand trap that's really, really insane as well. Don't know if we're going to use it, but a hand trap we will pick up nonetheless. And then everything else in here does not matter because they're all synchros and we're locked into fusions. Anyways, let me struggle to open up the second one here. Alrighty, now on to the second one here. So again, this is the plant deck. So this has like the black card and the red rose stuff, which is like cool. I really want to play this deck like in the TCG or even in like Genesis format. But for this series, it's not really that important to us. So we'll kind of skip the deck portions. We get a playset of Lone Fire, which is kind of cool. And then we have like Spore in here, Red Lover, Blue Rose Dragon. We have a Ghost Door, got first hand trap. I think we already have one of this if I'm not mistaken. But again, not necessarily the greatest hand trap, but it does get us the just more staples in our rotation, so we don't have to worry about that in the future. So I don't know if we're going to use it in today's deck, but it's still fine to have in our rotation. We actually get 2 of it out of this, and then we have a playset of Red Rose, which is insane, playset of White Rose, which is insane, Spooky Dogwood. Too bad this hand trap does not matter anymore because of how the time rules work now. This will never, ever matter, ever. So yeah, this card, very, very bad, and I didn't even play it when the time rules made it where it was good, but it's whatever. And then we have a playset of Rocks Rose. Again, actually not a bad way to start like a Genesis deck by just opening these 5Ds decks is kind of cool. And there's another big hit. Meowls is also in here. Very, 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 very good for us just for side deck reasons. Again, we're going to get 2 of this since we do have 2 boxes that we bought. So having a 2 Meowls in our side deck would be nice. Monster Reborn is cool. Terraforming doesn't, I mean, it's a cool card, but we don't have a field spell in our deck. I mean, we technically do, but we don't necessarily need to search it. And then just a shit ton of archetypal cards. 2 more Infinite Impermanence, so technically you actually get a playset out of just 1 box, which is insane. And then a Black Rose. I think this is all just synchro stuff that we can never use, and technically 2 Link monsters, but again, nothing we can ever use. Again, this is kind of nice to like build like a Genesis deck, like, or just like to start the like maybe I can do like a, if you want to do your own like sealed only challenge kind of thing. This actually might be like really, really good to open up, but obviously we're just doing this so we can get some staple stuff. And now on to the last deck here, if I can find the place to open it up. Alrighty, now on to the last deck here. This is the Blackwing deck, if I'm not mistaken. So you get a Vayu, which is got a little nice reprint for Edison, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with Icarus attack, which is kind of cool as well. And then Blackbird Close, and then Armor Master. Again, another Edison card, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have a Gale, a Bora. Like, this is a lot of Edison stuff, but that's because just Blackwing is playable in that. Droll and Lockbird. This is like cool, but our opening was so good last episode that we pulled a place out of Droll already. So we're just gonna get a shit ton of more Drolls for no reason. I kind of wasn't expecting to pull a place out of Droll out of Rarity Collection 2. So I was like, we can pick up more in this set. We no longer need to do that because we already have a playset, and we actually get 2 out of it in this deck as well, which is kind of crazy. And then just more Blackwing stuff. Again, not necessarily what we need, but we have now our playset of Ash Blossom, since this comes with 2, and we had 1 in the other structure decks. We now have a playset. We're going to get more, obviously, because we bought 2 of these decks. But again, that's because we wanted more Charmies and stuff like that in our rotation. So Ash, playset still pretty good for us, just out of 1 box. And then to go more Blackwing cards. Ghost Mourner is a cool little hand trap. I think this is actually our second one of this because we pulled one out of Rarity Collection. But still, not the greatest, but we'll still take it into our collection. And then just more Blackwing stuff that we don't necessarily need. And then the main card here is Molcharmi Fualos. That's the reason why we wanted to buy 2, is just so we have 2 of each Charmy here. Fua, very, very impactful fucking card for us. I really, really am glad we get a Charmy out of this. I'm glad they actually reprinted a lot of staples in this 5Ds decks. It's just too bad it got delayed for the longest time, which is kind of insane. And then the MST is like good for like side deck reasons, for back row hit if we need it as well. Same thing with Book, just like a little nice board breaker depending on formats, right? Same thing with Chalice, which is not bad. Called by, we already have those, so we don't necessarily need that. And then that's really it for the Blackwing stuff. So that is it for the structure decks. So the structure decks themselves, again, pretty, really nice. If you want to start your own like sealed only challenge, these like structure decks are actually not that bad, especially since they start off with pretty much all the staples in the decks as well. But again, we're pretty much doubling on everything, which only matters for exactly the Charmy card. So Fua, Meowls, and Pirellia. So we're gonna have 2 of those, and then we get 1 more droplet out of the second box as well. I should probably focus that up there. So we get 2 more of those. So we'll have a playset of droplets since we already have 1, and then 2 of each Charmies, and then everything else we pretty much load up on. Like we already have a playset of Ash and Imperms out of this box, so we get 3 more. But again, we only really bought the second box just so we have more copies of the Charmy card. So I'm not going to waste the time there opening that. We're just going to have 2 copies just because, again, there's nothing really special because there's nothing like, everything's predetermined anyway, so it's pretty much fine. So that is it for the opening. Now let's get to the deck profile. Alrighty, now on to the deck profile for the video here. So couple changes. Obviously, it's not going to be to the engine part of the deck, but for the non-engine for the deck. Without further ado, though, let's actually get into it. Again, it's a little dark in here. Do apologize. Hopefully, the light is doing something. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, shall we? So with the main deck, we have 3 Aluber the Boober Doober, 3 Albion the Shrouded Dragon, sorry. We're still playing the 2 Fallen, 2 Cartesia, 1 Quam, 1 Kit, 1 Mercurier, sorry, 1 Tragedy, 1 Lebellion, 1 Ecclesia, and then 1 Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis as well. So pretty much the same monster lineup. Nothing really has changed there. Again, 3 Aluber just because consistency reasons. Same thing for the Albion. Fallen, again, probably could be playing 3, but I think 2 is probably fine. 2 Cartesia. Again, another card you could play at 3, but 2 is fine, especially since we are playing Fusion Deployment. Quam, you only need the 1. Kit, Mercurier, and Tragedy, again, are fine at 1. We're playing the 1 Lebellion because you need it for the combo to get the Lost. And then Ecclesia and Fleur-de-Lis. I think this is like one of those cards I want to cut, but since we don't have something like Quaddalus or Corteris in the extra deck just yet, I still want to get value off of my Granganoil bottom effect. So I'm playing Ecclesia for that reason, and Ecclesia can search for Fleur, and then Fleur is obviously just a negate as well. But nothing has really changed when it comes to the main deck monsters there, so we'll pack this up. Let me quickly just get all this up. Now on to the spell trap portion of the deck here. I did bump up the Fallen of the Virtuous back up to 3. I think this card is just way too important not to be playing at 3. I was playing with the 2 last week, and it was fine at 2, don't get me wrong, but I still think 3 is just really, really insane. So we're going to be playing it at 3. 3 branded opening, 3 branded in high spirits, 3 fusion deployment, 2 branded fusion. Sorry, let me get this organized a little bit. 1 Gold Sark, 1 branded red, 1 Lost, 1 Retribution, and 1 Fusion Duplication. Yeah, again, pretty much the same. Again, the only change here has been the Fallen of the Virtuous going up to 3 instead of playing at 2 like we did with last week. Obviously, we don't have Nadir Servant in here either. That was a card we were playing last week, but I just decided to cut out. I don't think it was really that necessary for us to be playing, so I just decided to cut it, to be honest with you. But it's still pretty much fine enough list here. Again, a lot of consistency stuff here. So not really that much to talk about there. But again, really, really good stuff. Nothing, again, really has changed with this. Again, just no more, what is it called? Nadir Servant. And then we put Fallen of the Virtuous back up to 3. Now on to the non-engine. We are playing 3 Droll and Lockbird, the 2 Molcharmy Fuloloses that we got today, 1 Magnamut, 1 Druisworm, 1 Sornir there. And then we're playing 3 Thrusts and then 3 Forbidden Droplets. So we are playing 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 non-engine if you want to count Fallen of the Virtuous as a going second card. So that's 17 on engine, so that's still not bad for a 50 card deck. We'll gladly take this. Again, this is like, I think, the most impactful kind of board breakers we could be playing, or well, non-engine we can playing Droll is a really, really good card. Fua, really insane just going second card, even though going first is not the greatest. We have so many ways to discard in this deck that it's not necessarily a break going first. Then the Bestials, I think, honestly, I like the Bestials a lot. I'm not playing Nibiru in the main deck or in the side deck. I'm just cutting Nibiru in general just because I don't like that Nibiru. Even though I'm a fan of Nibiru, I just don't think it gets as much value as I want it to get, so I decided to cut it. So I'm playing the Bestials instead. I think, like, obviously you need Sornier for Brandon. No matter what Brandon you're playing, you need Sornier 100%. And since we are playing Bestials, I played one Magna, one Eurosmart. I think that's still fine. 3 Thrust is really, really good going second just to help, or just in general, just because it can get to any of our engine pieces as well. And then 3 Forbidden Droplet, because Droplet's just insane. I'm glad we actually did get the play set of Forbidden Droplet there. So that is going to be it for the non-engine, or the deck in general. Now we'll get into the extra deck. The extra deck actually has no changes to it, so we don't really have to worry about that. So we have oh, sorry, the light's a little dim here. I don't know why the light's really dim. Again, it's a little dark in here. I do apologize. So we have 2 Albion, 2 Dogma, 2 Rinbrum, 2 Mirror Jade, a Draganoil, Lubellion, Sprind, Titaniclad, Albelenus, Garua, and Dragos Stapelia. Again, this is a fine enough list here. For me, again, this is the same extra deck we played last week, and I honestly really, really liked it. The only thing I saw was maybe a 3rd Albion in the deck, but I think this is perfectly fine for us to be playing. So no changes there. I really did like the extra deck last week, so we're going to keep up with the same extra deck this week as well. So that is going to be it for the extra deck. Now on to the side deck. So we are playing 3 Ash Blossom in the side deck, just so when we know we're going first, we can just side these in over like the Fuas, because obviously Fuas would do nothing for us going first. So I put these in, and then this is a stop to obviously a Charming, which was really, really good. Fua, very impactful. If we can stop the Fua, that's going to be really good for us. We're on the 2 Parelia and 2 Meowsn. Well, I am playing both because I think both do have applications in this format, so I'm perfectly fine with playing both the Charmies in the side deck, just so when we know we're going second and we can side in this, and we know the matchup, obviously, we can side in the correct Charmy for that. We're still playing the 3 Super Poly. Again, if I had Mud, I probably would be main decking this card, but I'm going to side it for now. Once we know there's a matchup where Super Poly goes hard with our Garua in the extra deck, we'll go with it, but right now I'm just going to keep it in the side, especially since K9's like popping around as well, especially like Vanquish Soul K9 is popping up, especially since it won the YCS in Europe. Super Poly doesn't really do much against that deck, so I decided just to keep it in the side. 2 Dark Ruler no more, just because it's Dark Ruler. We have Thrust in the side deck just in case as well if you need more ways to search it. 1 Called By, obviously there's more going first cards as well. 1 Evenly Matched, and then the 1 Solemn Judgment to go with that. I didn't put any back row hate. I'm just going to take the L. If we first like any back row, I'm just going to take the L. I was really wishing we pulled Guardian Chimera last week, because that would solve our problem for that. But this is still pretty fine, because I didn't really want to play like MST or Twin Twisters in the side. I really do like this side deck quite a lot, and by technicality, Evenly Match is an out to the side deck, or out to like back row as well. So I really did like this side deck. So yeah, that is it for the deck. Without further ado, let's get to it, shall we? Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're about 20 minutes away from the YCS beginning here. So a couple things before we get into it. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to record at the YCS. There unfortunately won't be like any matchups that you guys will be able to see. I do apologize about that. We're just not allowed to record at this remote duel YCS. So, you know, I have to follow the rules, right? So unfortunately, there won't be any matches for you guys to kind of look at, but I'll still do my round recap. It's just no matches to watch over. But I think it's going to be 8 rounds day 1, and then I think 4 rounds day 2, 3 or 4 rounds in day 2. Again, I think the deck is good enough where we can compete with it. And, you know, maybe our goal is to maybe get into day 2. Sorry, maybe that's maybe that's a little too high. Maybe I'm putting the deck a lot better than it really is. But we're about to figure it out. We're putting it towards our first true test. So that's what we're doing it for. So let's get to the YCS, shall we? But this is going to be the setup I'm going to be using today. I wanted to show off the setup before. I haven't done this in like 3 years. The last time I remote dueled was back in 2022. So, I don't know. I was doing this in 2022 and it was perfectly fine. I don't know. I think it should be fine for this, hopefully. They can still like see the cards and everything. Everything is just going to be backwards, obviously. But we're going to re-sleeve because these sleeves are fucking old as fuck, so we need a re-sleeve right now. But yeah, I just wanted to show the setup before we actually get into the recap. So yeah, there's the fuck, English is hard. There is the setup there. Alrighty, just got completed with round 1 here, and unfortunately we did take the loss there. We actually ended up versus Cameron Neal. Yeah, very, very, very good player. If you guys don't know who that is, he has multiple YCS tops to his name. So, very solid first start for, our round 1 opponent. So, he's on Virtuous K9. He wins the die roll, chooses to go first. He ends on Yugioh Ripper with a set forced release, which I know with like 4 cards in hand. So I'm assuming he just like Sarua a draw and just drew into none of the Vanquish Soul cards. So he was just kind of probably on like a couple hand traps and maybe some like bricked other K9 cards he just already activated that turn. So I'm like, okay. Our hand was okay. Like we went Lubellion. He changed the Ripper to negate the Lubellion, which I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. If that forces out the Ripper there, sure, whatever. But we get to a situation where I'm assuming he has Ash in hand, and I should have just went with my gut feeling. So I went like a Luber normal to search, and I went for a Branded Fusion. But I kind of just had this feeling like he drew so deep into his deck, there has to be an Ash Blossom in this hand, right? So I'm like, fuck. I should just search for Fallen of the Virtuous, get my guaranteed play during the end phase, because he's not really on much right now anyways. Like, this is a breakable field for us, right? So, and if he has like a Zune or anything, we had a Droplet on top of everything. So I'm like, probably need to guarantee my Granganoil play, because we also had Cartesia on the field. So I'm like, I think I need to guarantee my Granganoil play rather than going for Branded Fusion, because I think he has an Ash, right? So instead of doing that, though, I went for a Branded Fusion. I went activate Branded Fusion. He changed Ash, because obviously he does have it. And the reason why that sucks is because I needed my Cartesia to resolve. And the problem is he had Force Release. So I went Cartesia, he changed Force Release, popped the Cartesia. Obviously, we have no valid target because we don't have Corteris for Aluber anyways. So I'm like, okay, fuck, that's a problem. So we needed the Cartesia to resolve. I concede after that. So I think game 1, if I just go search for Virtuous instead, then go Cartesia, when he chain Force Release, I just chain Virtuous, target the Ripper, pop it, so we don't have to worry about Ripper after that. And then obviously we have our end phase during the end phase. We probably send like a Titanic Cloud or something like that, so we can get follow-up during the end phase, and we get the Granganoil to dump something else, and we can probably get back to a Branded Fusion in that turn, because I think I also had Albion in hand, so we can like, dump Sornier, dump Branded Fusion, then Albion send Retribution, add back Branded Fusion. We still lose to the Ash, don't get me wrong, but I think I could have played that a little bit better. Get a Fallen in the Virtuous so we can continue the play, right? But that's just not what happened there. So we lose game 1, and then game 2, just really, really bad. Our hand was High Spirits, Fallen, Bestial, Druisworm, and Magna, and a Fusion deployment. So I go High Spirits. He makes a heads up read and actually just ashes the High Spirits, which is very insane. The punish is if I have Branded Fusion, I just win the game, right? But he just said, fuck it, if you have it, you have it, right? So he ashes the Branded High Spirits, which kind of sucks, because like, even if he saved Ash for Branded Fusion, guaranteeing the fusions in the graveyard for us matters a little bit more than resolving our Branded Fusion. So I'm like, fuck, okay, we go Fusion Deployment, summon a Granganoil dump Titanic Clad, and then we summon Ecclesia during the end phase, search for Fleur, and then we have 2 Bestials and a Fleur. The problem is the Bestials aren't really that good into this matchup, so that's the reason why that kind of sucks, so we wish we had something else there. But we pass on that. He normal summons Raise, and I go Fleur to negate, because I'm like, this is probably the best way to negate, because now he has 3 cards in hand. If like there's a Joel in hand, we can do a lot of stuff. We have the Granganoil at like all times to summon Quem, and then Quem dump a guy, and we already had Fallen in Graveyard, right? So that's like another play, but the problem I saw is like he can just go battle, clear Quem, and I'm fucked, right? And maybe I should have done it like that, because I took life points, a lot of life points during the battle phase. So like, the problem was Fleur was my only interaction. I probably should have forced the Granganoil, summon Quem attack, and force him to attack so I don't take damage during the battle phase. But I don't do that. I save Granganoil, and he kind of just breaks my field, which was very unfortunate. I go with the Bestials to save myself in the end phase, or during the battle phase, so I went like Magna, he chained Ripper, and I went Druisworm special, and then obviously he has to waste a battle on Druisworm, and then Druisworm can clear another guy, so I don't die in the battle phase. But I take like 3,000 life points, he just goes, okay, I'll summon Heavy Borger, inflict another 1,500 to you. So I took 45, so I'm at like 3,500. It was 3,000. I think it was, he attacked, I took 3,500 damage is what I took. So I ended up at 3,000 life points during the end phase. I draw for turn. Like, I have plays by technicality, but like if I summon Cartesia, go effect, he just 104s negate, halves my life points, and then goes Borger, inflict 15 for the other 1,500. So I'm like, okay, I think no matter what, we just lose. So I just concede to that. So very unfortunate there. I wish it was a little bit better, or maybe we could have played better in game one. But we'll just take the L. We can take a couple losses in this YCS, hopefully. So hopefully we can do better in round 2. Alrighty, just got completed with round 2 here, and this one we did take the W for. So good thing for us there. We ended up versing against Virtuous Canine once again. So obviously, I think this is going to probably be one of the most popular decks in the fucking room, which is going to be unfortunate. But we did take the W. Game 1, it was kind of simple. Like, he had a couple Bystials in his hand, so we did like a lot of end phase shenanigans stuff during the end phase, which was kind of weird, to be honest with you. Like, he had a Lupus too, but Mirror Jade checked Lupus, so I was perfectly fine with that. So, like, I was just like, we were doing a lot of end phase stuff, so we got to a point where he had like a Druid Swarm and a Magnemite on field, but I also had like all my setup, because even though he Bystialed us, like, we had enough stuff where we still kept our stuff in graveyard, because he banished like a Fallen from our graveyard. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go Quim, dump another Fallen, so I don't have to worry about that. And then he banished a Dogma to prevent that from searching like a Mercurier or something like that, because that would negate like a Bystial. So he passed on that. He goes Rhoda, add Raisin. I go activate Droll. He goes, oh, we'll just go to next game. I'm like, cool. We can win the game there. So we won the game 1, and game 2 was just a fucking long ass grind match, to be honest with you. He set up on his field. We drew no hand traps, unfortunately. We had Droplet. That was our only thing that we could do. So we like Droplet his Holy Sue when he attempted to take control of our Cartesia, which was perfectly fine with us. So we ended up breaking the field pretty well. So we ended on like a Mirror Jade Lubellion. I forgot to place Lost off of Lubellion. Damn. That's so unfortunate. Looking back, I forgot to place Lost off of Lubellion. I thought I was forgetting something. I thought I just used it so I can get Albion into the graveyard, but I forgot to put Lost in the graveyard. That's so unfortunate. I would have gone to search. Damn. Unfortunate. I could have played that a little differently. But looking back, so I forgot to put. So we just end on that, and then we have like a Dogma on field, because I used Fallen to fuse off his entire field, since obviously Virtuous just protects everything off the trap. So I'm like, cool, I'll just fuse off the field with the with Dogma. So that's what I did. He passed to me. He got to like a Nash Knight. I Mirror Jade banished the Nash Knight, and that was like his only really way to play. So he had like set pass, and then eventually I just ended up winning game 2 there. Like, we're up a game, time was coming up. He's like, yeah, whatever. There's nothing I can really do in this game. We'll just concede to you. So I ended up winning round 2 there. So we're 1-1 now. Hopefully we can continue this streak, but if we're versing Vanquish Soul K9, it's gonna be a little rough. But hopefully we can verse a different deck though. So yeah, that's it for round 2. Alrighty, just got completed with the round 3, and we took another W. We ended up versing the mirror match, which was very interesting. So, game 1, I won the die roll, chose to go first. Set up on my field, I ended on like a Mirror Jade, Granganoil, Quem, Ecclesia, Kit in field, Fallen of the Virtuous set, Rimbrum Engrave with a Fallen Engrave as well. And then I have Fleur in hand, and then like forgot what else I had in hand. I had a couple things in hand. So he goes Dark Ruler no more. I'm like, okay, I'm fine with that. So I'm like, cool, whatever. He goes Called by on the Fallen, which I'm like, I just kind of have to let that go through. Then he goes High Spirit, sending Cartesia, sending Granganoil, such a Luber, and almost on a Luber effect. I go, okay, I'll just Fleur this. You have 2 cards left in hand. They have to be insane. And it really wasn't. He had Fallen to the Virtuous, just doesn't do anything right there. Like, he just gets end phase stuff. But since he can't clear my field, I just get everything back during my turn, and I just go for the OTK push, and it just was enough for me. So, set up on a lot, got Dark Ruler no more, but it was still good enough to make sure, because the Fleur negating a Luber was just enough to win the game. And still had the Virtuous at all times as well, just in case, with Ecclesia on field, so I can Reborn if I want to. And then game 2, he just bricked. He just hella bricked. He went Fusion Deployment, summon Fallen, normal summon Cartesia, or Special Cartesia, effective Fusion to Granganoil, dump Rimbrum, and just hope to God that was enough. But unfortunately, I drew 2 Bystials. I had Magna and Druid, so I just go Magna, get rid of it. And he ashes the Magna, which I'm like, cool, that's fine. I draw into Fallen. I go, okay, normal summon Fallen, fuse off your Granganoil into a Mirror Jade, then Druid Swarm, banish the Granganoil, and then just do OTK there. So he just a little bit of a brick from him there. So we ended up winning 2-0. So we're 2-1 right now, really, really good. Hopefully we can continue this streak. Alrighty, just got completed with round 4 here. Let me fix my camera up just a little bit there. And we actually took the W once again. So we're now 3-1 in this YCS. We versed Mermel is what we ended up versing. So really bad matchup for me. I honestly don't know what these cards do. Like, I have a somewhat idea of what they do, but I don't know their exact text. And honestly, with an online tournament, it's hard to know, like, try to read cards, because usually in person you can just pick up the card and read it. While online, you have to like kind of look up the card and stuff like that. It kind of takes a lot of time. So I try not to do that. But I drolled him game 1, and It did do like some stuff, like he couldn't search, but he still got to plays. He got to a barrier statue, and that was really it. I think he messed up his combo just a little bit there, so he sent up on barrier statue, and I'm like, cool, I'll just fall into the Virtuous, pop it, and then just go full combo and win the game. So we win game 1, and then game 2, he set up on the turtle. I forgot what it's called. It's the statue that prevents your opponent from summoning 1800 or more attack, which is all branded. Really just all branded. I'm surprised that was in there. It's probably in there for other matchups, but obviously it hits branded as well. But he only ended on that. Again, I drolled him once again, and then he just couldn't get any searches off, so that was really his only way for him to kind of protect stuff. So I'm like, okay, we'll just special out Cartesia. Realized the guy had 1800 defense. I'm like, okay, that doesn't do anything. So I thought, maybe I can clear it. But I went branded opening, discard a card, search for a looper, not special summon, normal summon a looper effect to attempt to search for Fallen in the Virtuous. He chains Ash Blossom to that to try to protect the turtle, but it plays into the thrust that we had. So we go thrust, search for a Dark Ruler we sided in, activate Dark Ruler no more, negate everything on his field. Cool, now we can play. We go Cartesia. We had Lost in hand, that was our last card too. So we go Lost, Cartesia effect, and a looper to go into Granganoil, Chainlink 1, Lost Chainlink 2, Lost search for Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, and then Cartesia dump Sornier, or Granganoil dump Sornier effect, dump Retribution, then go Albion, sending Branded Fusion for cost, shuffle bottom deck it, draw a card. We drew into another thrust, which didn't matter. Then we went Retribution, add back Branded Fusion, activate Branded Fusion. Now we're playing the game now. So we get to a Mirror Jade, Albion on field. I send Lubelia on field just so I can get the Albion into the graveyard, and then Granganoil. During the end phase, I set a Fallen of the Virtuous, I add back the Cartesia, and I pass on that. So he passes, he does a lot. He outs my Mirror Jade through Poseida's effect, or Poseidon, whatever, the new Mermail cards, to bounce it back. But I went, okay, I'll just chain Mirror Jade, sending Rimbrum, and then it went Granganoil because it was summoned off a monster effect. So summon out Quem dump Fallen, and then I was able to get back to a Mirror Jade because he had an extra deck guy on field. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go back into Mirror Jade, banish another guy on field, and then he had like one more card in hand, which Fallen in the Virtuous was able to beat through, but he just conceded the game after I got to the second Mirror Jade though. So we ended up winning it as a 2-0. We are 3-1 right now. We still got 4 more rounds to play, which is annoying because this has been taking fucking forever. Oh my god, it's been taking way too long. But yeah, without further ado though, let's get into the next round. Alrighty, just got completed with round 5 here. As you can see, I had to turn on a light just because it's getting dark, and now we're getting through the day really fast. Or, well, not fast. It's been slow as fuck. But we ended up taking a loss, unfortunately. I think it was just really close. It was a really close game. We versed, so Lophacord Yummy is what we did. Game 1, we drolled him, and that did do a lot, but he did have his Yummy stuff, so like he had like a Lollipop in hand, so he was able to get to it still. And then he passed to us. He drolled us, which is perfectly fine. So I'm like, okay, we can still work. It did somewhat fuck us up because we had like a lot of searchers in our hand, but I'm like, I can still deal with it. Like, I break his full field enough where like he's left on one Lollipop until I couldn't clear everything, unfortunately, but he's left on one Lollipop. I'm getting a Quen back off an SP that he banished. So I'm like, okay, we have a Mirror Jade, we have a Fallen of the Virtuous set. The Mirror Jade was already used, so that doesn't really matter. We had a Fallen of the Virtuous set, Quem on field, and he was on top deck. He top decked into Marsh. I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine. And then I just completely forgot about the effect of the field spell. So I went, okay, I'll go Fallen of the Virtuous, send Rimbrum to the graveyard, get rid of the SP, or force out the SP, which he does. He chains and banishes Quem. I'm like, okay. Then we'll go Fallen, or Rimbrum effect, target Fallen in graveyard, special back the Fallen, discard our Cartesia we added back, get rid of his field into a, what's that card called? A Dogma, the Dogma that devours. I'm like, okay, we can win the game. I know the set's probably just a bluff because he never used it on my turn, and he's not using it on his turn. And he's like, oh, effective field spell. I'm like, oh, I forgot. And I actually could have played around it because he was about to place other field spell because he added it off of Marsh. So I'm like, oh, but I stopped him because I'm like, I want to do something here first. So if I literally just let him get to the other field spell, I think we win the game. But it's just a little bit of a misplay there. So, I don't know. Again, if he played it correctly, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So, we lose game 1. Game 2, we just win, like, really well. Like, we set up on full field. He evenly matched us, called by the Grave Dust. He had Pirellia in hand, which I did give him a draw, but just one draw. That was all he got off of it. But called by evenly, still was able to control the field pretty much. Because I drew Droll once again. So I went, okay, I'll just go Droll. And then he just couldn't really do anything. Looks at my field, he goes, yeah, I'm not beating this. We'll just go to next game. And then game 3, it was just a grind match. I Pirellia'd him. He gave me 2 draws off the Dilophocord combo, and I drew into Droll off the second one. I looked at my hand. I'm like, I think I'm confident enough. I'll go Droll and Lockbird. Okay, activate Droll. Make sure you can't get to his Yummy combo, which he couldn't. So he just ends on the Dilophocord, Link 2, sets a couple cards, pass. I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine. We have like opening, High Spirits, Cartesia, a Luber, and a Droplet in hand. I think that's our hand off of that. So we go... I'm like, the Droplet doesn't do anything because obviously nothing does anything on the field because the only interaction is just his Pendulum Scale. So I go Branded Opening. He changed Retaliating City. Very unfortunate, but that's something we can do. Still play through. So I summon a Luber. A Luber effect. He Resolution negates off the Dilophocord Pendulum. Okay, I'm like, that's fine. Normal summon Cartesia. Cartesia beat the Retaliating Seed just so we don't have to worry about it. Then I'm like, okay, main phase 2 Cartesia effect. He strikes it. I'm like, God fucking damn, that's so annoying. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, okay, I have to pass back to him. I set the Droplet, set the Retribution. I'm like, as long as he doesn't top deck anything, we're fine. Normal summon Lolipill. Fuck. Okay, we'll go Droplets and Retribution, negate the Snatchy, so he can't play. But the problem is he goes into an SP after main phase 2. In main phase 2, banish my Retribution. I'm like, okay, now we're just on top deck. Dark Ruler no more. Pirellia, High Spirits with no monsters in hand. And I think that was the 3 turns I got, and I drew into literally nothing. So I'm like, fuck, okay, well, yeah, you just win. And he finally drew into playable. He had like 4 sets as well, because he was also drawing into bricks, but their hand trap bricks and our bricks were just like, fuck, this does nothing, god damn it. We just lost the game, unfortunately, there. So we did lose. We're 3-2. This was round 5, so we are 3-2. We still got 3 more rounds to play. If we win out, we can make day 2. So that's the goal. Let's try to do it. Alrighty, just got completed with round 6, and we did end up taking the W. So we're now 4-2, which is very, very insane. To be honest with you, I was thinking back to the Fire King Sealed Only, because with the Fire King Sealed Only, we went to the YCS and just straight up didn't top. Or just didn't get a single win. And with this one, we're now 4 wins. We're putting ourselves there. We're 4-2. Still got 2 more rounds. I think if we win out, we need to win out to make day 2, but we put ourselves in a good position to make day 2. But enough talking. What did I verse? I versed another Yummy Dilophocord matchup. Very, very, very weird one here. So, game 1, he just goes full combo. Nothing I can do. Like, I try to break his field. Like, I think if I played it a little bit differently, maybe I can successfully break his field. Just because I'm like maybe if I go activate Branded High Spirit, then chain Fallen of the Virtuous, then chain Droplet, send 2, I can get a shit ton of value. But I didn't do that because I was expecting he would probably expect that, considering I'm activating a shit ton of spell cards, and then just chain a Herald of the Arclight to get it out of the way, right? So I was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. Probably should have done that. I still like somewhat broke the field, but I just couldn't beat through everything. He ended on like an SP, which like is a wild infield, but SP was enough for me just to not do anything. So I lose game 1. Game 2, it's the complete opposite. I go full combo. His only hand trap was Ghost Bell, but that was nowhere near enough. Like, he Ghost Bells my Albion, but even though I didn't get to Mirror Jade, that was the only thing I didn't do in that turn, I got to everything else. I had Titanic Cladding Graveyard, Albion, Virtuous, Branded in red, Ecclesia, like Fleur-de-Lis in hand with like so much stuff. There was so much interruption, and he just could not break through it. He tried, don't get me wrong, he did try, but like I just did so much. Like once I went and special followed and summoned into a Dogma play, he pretty much just conceded. He saw the writing on the wall and just wanted to get to the next game. And in game 3, we drew the Charmies. The Charmies came up. We drew Pirellia and Fua. So we go draw phase, activate Pirellia. He ashes. I'm like, that's fine, because we'll just activate Fua. He summons Marsh, and then he goes into like his Dilophocord play. And then honestly just goes into a Silhouette, set the trap, though, the one that can get to the Omni Negate, right? And then pass to us. I'm like, that's fine with me, because I have a Fallen and Virtuous in hand. So he tried to do it in draw phase. I chain Fallen to the Virtuous, get rid of it. I get to a Mirror Jade end field, so I have like Mirror Jade, a Granganoil, Fallen of the Virtuous set, and then I cleared his field because I fusion summoned during his end phase. He kind of kept cards in hand to try to play during his turn, but it just wasn't enough. He wasn't beating through the Mirror Jade. I eventually went like Rimbrum, summon Fallen, go into a Dogma play. Dogma! Insane card, by the way. Love the fucking Dogma. That card's fucking ridiculous. So Dogma just wins the game right then and there, and I still had like a Droplet set, which he never played into anyways. So we ended up winning game 3 there. So we are 4-2. Hopefully we can continue this. We got 2 more rounds tonight, and I hope to God it goes by fast. As you can see with my hair, I'm fucking getting annoyed with it. But 2 more rounds. Hopefully it can go by fast. Alrighty, we just got completed with fucking round 7, and we took another W, but oh my god, did I deserve to lose that game. My god, we'll explain why. So we versed Mitsurugi Yummy, which I think the deck is kind of built to beat, which is kind of nice, but game 1, total brick. I went Lubellion effect, search Sornier, he drolls me, which was the only good thing about that turn. I'm like, cool, he wasted droll. That's all I needed, cool. Had to go... Sornier, banish my own Libellion, fall into the Virtuous, pop my own Sornier, sending Titaniclad, and then Sornier, dump Retribution, Retribution, add back, fall into the Virtuous, end phase, summon Quem, dump fall into Valbaz. That was my turn. That was it. Yeah, it was really bad. But I had a Droplet in hand. I also had Fleur-de-Lis in hand and Mercurier. So I'm like, if I get to a Branded Fusion, or to a Fusion in general, I'm good. I just have to get to a fusion, right? So he goes into his Mitsurugi play, which is kind of like solid. So I'm like, cool. As long as I negate the Murakumo, I think I'm in a good position, which pretty much is what happened. I kind of just let him like play, and that's all he had. He didn't draw the Yummy portion of his deck, so I'm like, cool. He got to a point where he summoned Murakumo in Grave and Habakiri on Fields, and he went Mirror. I was like, I'll just chain Virtuous, pop your Habakiri. So he never got to Murakumo that turn. And then, actually, he did have Yummy. He normal summoned Lolipo. And I'm like, okay, I'll just fusion off, go into Albion, make a Mirror Jade. Now, all of a sudden, my field's absolutely insane with the hand I had, and he just concedes. Game 2, he went full combo. I didn't draw any hand traps. It was really, really bad. But we tried to break the field. We had, like, Fall into the Virtuous to negate the Herald. He had Purification to negate it, which was kind of unfortunate. I was like, okay, as long as I can normal summon this Fallen, I think I'm in a good position, right? I tried to go into a Branded Fusion play with Lost. He had Ash Blossom. I'm like, God fucking damn, that's so annoying, right? And then I just went like normal summon Fallen, discard a card, and he wasted Herald on something. I forgot what he wasted it on. But I went normal summon Fallen effect to fuse, and he imperms. I'm like, oh my god, okay, full field plus Ash and imperm. Yeah, I'm not winning this game. And then in game 3, oh my god, did I deserve to lose? So he ashed me, but I was fine because he didn't ash me on Branded Fusion. He ashed me on Branded or on Aluber. Or sorry, it wasn't Ash, it was Imperm. He Impermed my Aluber, but I got back to a Branded Fusion, so it was perfectly fine. Then he nibbed us, so I'm like, cool, that's still fine with me. As long as I get my end phase triggers, I don't necessarily care. But I'm kind of tired right now, and I am misplaying hella. So I went, oh, I'll just let it go. Titaniclad summon Fallen Fuse during his turn, completely just forgetting, or during the end phase, completely just forgetting I went through Albion that turn already. So that play does not work how I want it to work. So I'm like, that's a misplay. Shouldn't have done that. Still was fine because he only drew Mitsurugi cards. So game 3 was pure Mitsu. I'm like, cool. I can deal with it. I have Branded Opening to protect my Fusion. Even though I made an Albion during the end phase, I protected it. And we went a couple turns where I just went, oh my god, I am fucking misplaying out of my goddamn mind right now. I would go, I'm like, oh, I should have done that, should have done that, should have done that. Credit, I mean, he's just on a brick. He was just on like, I think he told me double nib, double Habakiri, Imperm, and then I forgot what he drew. I think he drew into Ash. We were on all engine, and we just fucking misplayed so hard. Again, did not deserve that win, but again, since he could not get into engine, I eventually got to a Mirror Jade after like 3 turns. Mirror Jade banished his only card, which was Murakumo, that was playable, and he just conceded. He's like, yeah, you got it. There's nothing I can do. I'm like, thank the fucking Lord. That game should have probably been an easy win, the last game 3. But I just misplayed so fucking hard to a point where I made it where it was a competition, which was so annoying. Getting tired. But we have one more round. We are X2, so what, 7, so 5-2. We're good. We get one more win. We make day 2. That's all we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we are day 2 confirmed. Yes, we took a W. We are now 6-2 and guaranteed to make day 2. Absolutely fucking wild. The deck has been insane. I've kind of been loving it all day, even though I've been tired because these rounds take fucking forever to do. Absolutely insane. I know a lot of people don't take, the remote duel seriously compared to in-person YCSs, but this is still a huge accomplishment, especially with the sealed only deck. We don't have something like Mud Dragon, so our Super Poly's been like worthless in our side deck, and we don't have like Chimera, so our Brandon in red hasn't been as great either. Our Thrust isn't necessarily that great in game 1's going second because we have really nothing to search with it, like talents or anything like that. Even though they were still missing little pieces there, the deck has been absolutely wild. I've been loving it. So, what did we verse? We versed Draco Tail in round 8, and he won the die roll and chose to go first, and he just straight up bricked game 1. Just straight up brick. He set a card and passed. It ended up being Flame, and it ended up not mattering because even though my hand sucked, like he trolled us, and I don't know what else he, like, it was like a shit ton of hand traps. He gazooned at us at one point too, and he set up on a XYZ. All did not matter because I had a fusion duplication set, so I just go fusion duplication, target my branded fusion in graveyard that I sent off a Sornir, and that just wins me the game 1. He just instantly concedes. The moment I get to Mirror Jade, he's like, yeah, I'm just super bricked. Let's get to next game. We go into game 2. A little bit of a grind fest. He chooses to go first. He sets on Seals, Femina. I know Azuna is in hand with Flame set and passes. I'm like, okay, that's a breakable end field. If our hand was good, we drew no monsters in our hand. We drew all spells. I think we drew Cartesia for turn, which is a card that you need monsters to go with, and we just didn't draw a single monster. So we had to go like Fallen of the Virtuous, pop his Seals because he can't chain because there's nothing to bounce back. So we popped the Seals, right? I'm like, okay, Seals is gone. We send Titaniclad. I normal summon Cartesia, attack, main phase 2, second Fallen of the Virtuous, a Droplet, and a Branded Loss. And then I go Titaniclad, summon Quam, dump Fallen. He plays on his turn, like we get to a point where I just fucked up. I forgot he can just make Secretarian Dragon, so I was like, oh, I have this Fallen in graveyard. I'll just wait for him to commit to the field a little bit more before summoning the Fallen of Albaz with Rimbrum effect. And I go, and he goes, okay, well, normal summon Cartesia, and then it just clicks in my head. I'm like, oh, fuck. Secretarian. That's a goddamn problem. He goes, okay, Cartesia effect, fuse off, make Secretarian. My Fallen's just dead in graveyard now. And we just end up losing. Like, straight up just lose. Our hands up brick. He ends up OTKing us because he has, like, Azuna and Lupus on field. Even though he's locked into fusions, he just summons both as just attackers and wins the game, and I just lose. So, very unfortunate. And in game 3, our hand was very weird, but it ended up working. Like, it was like Fua, which I should have side out of, by the way. I forgot Fua was in the deck, but it didn't really matter. Ash Blossom, Branded Opening, Mercurier, Fusion Duplication. I'm like, okay, we need this Branded Opening to resolve. So I go activate Branded Opening. He chains Fua. Chain Ash! Our first Ash on Fua! Oh my god, it feels good not to have to play into that card. I'm so happy we got Ash. So we Ash the Fua. Don't have to worry about Fua now. I summon our Aluber effect, search for Fusion. I'm like, okay, even if he has Ash, I have Duplication. We're still fine. I go activate Branded Fusion. He goes, that's fine. We summon Albion, sending Lubellion and Fallen. He goes, I go Albion effect. He chains Ghost Bell, and I go, this Mercurier is live. Mercurier, negate your monster. Oh my god, that was crazy. I'm like, oh my god. Hand was really weird, but it ended up working out. That was his 2 hand traps, and we got negates for both of them. So we set up on full field, Branded Retribution set. We didn't waste it because I wanted to negate the spell traps with the Retribution. Prevent a fusion summon, right? That's very important. And he just concedes. He draws for turn. He goes, yeah, I'm not beating this field. You have the game. Thank God, we made Tay 2, ladies and gentlemen. So I have to wake up tomorrow. This video is going to be super long, by the way, because I've done a lot of recaps. There was 8 rounds today, and I'm going to have to do recaps tomorrow. I'll put the standings somewhere on screen right before, either before, like when I'm saying I'm making day 2, or right now, or both. I'll probably just do both, just to make it easier. But yeah, we have made day 2. Let's go compete in day 2. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are up for day 2, and we started off day 2 with a win. Let's fucking go. We're actually written future, like we're the backup to it, so I don't know if it'll be on the blog or not, but that was cool as fuck. Don't at me. I'm wearing the same stuff I was wearing yesterday. I woke up late and I'm like, fuck it, this will work, you know. So, what do we verse? We versed Pure Mitsurugi, which is near and dear to my heart. Game 1, we Fuwalos him because we knew Murakuma was in hand, so we had to Fuwalos him. He did give us a draw by linking off into an IP, and that one draw ended up being a Magnemut, and he linked off the Murakumo. I'm like, oh my god, Magnemut, target the Murakumo, get it out of the way, don't have to worry about that. Then we got to a play where I summoned out Fallen, used Fallen effect. I probably should have went for Dogma that devours, and I think I'd probably win the game because I had Quem in hand and Cartesia, so I think I can actually win the game, like OTK him. But I chose to go for Mirror Jade, which was probably the incorrect thing because I had to go into Lubellion, then Lubellion discard a card. So I wasted my entire hand to not kill him. So he got another turn and just killed me on the crackback. So I think I should have just went for a Dogma play, link off his entire, or fuse off his entire field, then go into just an OTK with Quem, Dogma the Devours, Cartesia, and I had Magnemut still on field as well. So maybe I should have done that. Game 2, though, we bricked. It was actually, like, it worked, but it bricked. I had a normal, he Fuwallowed us, which is fine. We can take that. Fuwalos is not a card we have to worry about with the hand we had. I normal summon Quem effect, dump Retribution to the graveyard. Or not Retribution, Branded Fusion, set Duplication, pass, and that was enough because I ashed his like Saji, so he had like one more way to play, but then I got to like the Mirror Jade and stuff like that. I even got to a Dogma play because of how I played the turn. I actually went a Rimbrum and a Fallen in graveyard to like fuse off his field, so we win game 2. And then game 3, he defied us, and I went, okay, normal summon Armasa. I'm like, okay, if you're normal summoning Armasa, since I played this deck a lot, I know you're on a brick. Ash the Armasa, and he was. He activated Ritual, but had to trigger Armasa on field and an Armasa in hand to summon Murakumo. One card in hand, I went, cool. Fallen, fuse off the Murakumo into Titaniclad. Played around Nibiru, because I'm like, okay, this is probably a Nibiru in hand, so I'm not going to play into it, especially with DeFi on the field, which it ended up being, and he just draws for turn, sets, pass, and I just OTK him on the next turn. So we win that game. Next round pairings just get posted, though, so I'm going to get straight to it right now. Yeah, hopefully we can take a W. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it just got completed with round 10. Wild. We've done a lot of these, haven't we? We unfortunately did take the L in round 10. It was kind of just, he had the better hand. His hand was just cracked. We versed Yummy Mitsurugi. Our hand, starting hand actually wasn't that bad. We had like Magna, plenty of ways to combo, but the problem was he drew into the Mitsurugi plus Yummy in the same hand. So I'm like, initially I was like, okay, if he just has the Yummy stuff, I can just go Herald or a Magna, target the Herald of the Arclight, never have to worry about that card again, right? And that's like good thing. But no, he drew Prayers and Saji, which Saji usually a bad draw, but when you draw with Prayers, it works. So very unfortunate there. So I'm just like, fuck yeah, you kind of just have to let that happen. I got to a point before he made Herald of the Arclight, I activated Magnamut, target like I targeted like Habakiri. He chained Murakumo. I'm like, cool, I'll just discard Tragedy. So that was like a nice little thing. I got Tragedy to add Aluber, Magnuma to search during the end phase. So I'm like, okay, I still got a lot of value off of this. So that's still fine, but the only thing that punishes it is Talent, and he had Talent, the one of Talent, solid. I was like, okay, your hand's just cracked then. You had Yummy, Mitsu plus Talent. Fuck am I supposed to do about that, huh? Man, they need... I'm tired of Talents. Get that card out of here, but that's just a me thing. So we just lose. He sets up on full field. He ripped a card out of the hands of Talents, and I just couldn't do anything. Couldn't out the Herald. He just protected it as much as he can. So couldn't do anything to that. Game 2, it was not great. It was not a great hand. It was High Spirits, double Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, Droplet Roll. I eventually got to a Branded Fusion. Like, he let everything play, and then I went Branded Fusion. He ashed. I'm like, I expected that, to be honest with you. Then I was like, okay, as long as he doesn't draw Mitsu as a starting hand, it's fine. Draws Mitsu. I'm like, God fucking damn, what the fuck? Okay, so that's a problem. Can't wait for that engine to be gone too. Fuck that engine. So he does his Mitsu engine. I went Droll. He called Bide. I'm like, God fucking damn, okay. And then he went Thrust. I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you know what? You got it. My hand just sucks, and you're just going to break this entire field, and I just got nothing. So we lost. So we now have suffered our third loss. We are 7-3 right now. Still got 2 more rounds to play. I think I'm going to play it out just because, even though I think we're pretty much out of top 8 now, like there's no chance we make top 8. Top 16, top 32. I don't know what the lineup is for, or the prizing is going to be for, but we can still make top 32 or top 16 with an X3 and get prizes out of it. So even though we're probably not going to top 8 and get the recognition for topping, top 16, top 32 to get prizing still is not that bad, to be honest with you. So we're going to play it out at X3. 2 more rounds to go, though, so hopefully we can continue. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we finally did take the loss, so we are out of the tournament. Sorry, I'm not on my computer, so I had to get my phone out and record because I forgot to record, and I just turned off my computer right now. So, yeah, we lost. We versed Yummy Mitsurugi once again, and it was just the unfortunate part of we just didn't draw any hand traps. Game 1, he won the die roll, drew literally no hand traps, and he went full combo, like fully everything on the field, and I think he had impermanent Ash on top of literally everything, which is like, okay, yeah, I'm losing this game no matter what, right? So we lose. Game 2, we set up on our field. He had imperm. It just did not matter because we had Cartesia the entire time. So he let me get to like the Branded Fusion Mirror Jade play, and then he impermed my Cartesia. But I looked at a Titaniclad and an Albion in my graveyard. I'm like, Yeah, I still have everything. I'm chilling. I don't really give a fuck, right? So I'm like, that's fine. I set a couple cards, I pass, and he just instantly scoops game two. And then game three, again, literally no hand traps, goes full combo, nothing I can do. My hand's actually not even that good because I draw Dark Ruler no more for turns. I'm like, oh my god, Dark Ruler no more. Clear the field, right? He lets it happen, which is probably a correct thing on him. Why waste negation? Because I have a thrust in hand, and he just never played into a thrust, so I had to like search a Fallen of Albaz, normal summon Fallen, hope to God it resolves. He imperms it, and I look at my hand of just like thrust, droplet, and then I forgot. I think it was red, which was dead because I had no other monster in hand. So I'm like, yep, you got it. Nothing I can do. I lost to a simple imperm is what I lost to, which is just wild to think about how bad this hand is. So I mean, we did really well. We like did really 7-4 is our record. Insane. That's an insane record for the deck. I mean, the deck is insane. If we're, even though we are missing a couple things with the deck, I don't really think it would change that much. Maybe if we had mud, I would be siding in super polys, and that would help try to break fields. But the thing I'm realizing with the deck is hand advantage. That's kind of the problem with the deck right now. You go through your hand quite a lot, so things like Super Poly might not necessarily be that good. Things like Droplet might not necessarily be that good either. Maybe we should be main decking Dark Roller instead of Droplet just because Dark Roller doesn't discard cards. Droplet has to discard cards. So I don't know. Maybe we can change the deck a little bit. But overall, insane performance. Really, really insane. Love the deck. Very, very insane. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.